Your boy DJ Miles. Welcome to the DJ Miles Show, where we prayed up to our days up. We talk about real life. I got a good friend of mine, a good coworker of mine from the 305. Got to represent
You know it.
Mr. Pendleton, and I'm gonna let him tell y'all about himself. So let's just get right into it.
Yep, my name is Corey Pendleton. Currently, I'm teaching at the Bethel Christian Boys Academy. I teach middle school, and it's not too late if you're looking for an awesome school for your students to come enrolling with us. But on top of that, I'm also the special director, the director of special projects for Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, which means I help the church develop grants, develop new programs that help the community. You know, we all about affordable housing, closing a healthcare gap, because we know we don't all have equal access to healthcare. And we know if you look at our track record, they've built senior citizen homes. They build urgent care centers. They're helping address the food desert, you know, in the black and brown community. So, you know, it's a lot of good work that I do, but I also get to have fun serving the Lord while I do it.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on to the pod. We always start off with a feelings check. A feelings check will come with how you're feeling and a quick question. So for this feelings check today, how are you feeling, and what is your favorite restaurant spot in Tallahassee?
I feel good right now. I have joy. You know, it's funny when you come to the school and people tell me, "Miss Pendleton, you crazy." I said, "No, that's not crazy. That's just joy." It's just joy. Like, I'm going to have joy no matter what. They'll tell me, "You drink too much coffee." No, that's not coffee. That's not caffeine. That's just joy. And my favorite restaurant spot, Crystal Rivers. On Monday nights, all you eat crabs. Not trying to plug them or nothing, but I go there so much that when I walk in, they don't give me a menu or nothing. I just sit down, they bring me my drink. They already know what I'm coming to get.
For real? So all you can eat crabs on Mondays?
Yes.
Crystal Rivers. Okay, so if y'all never heard of that before, go pull up the Crystal Rivers on Mondays. I know y'all love them crabs.
Yes.
You feel me? That don't matter if you from 305, 850, 904. Everybody in Florida want their crabs.
And they cook the order too, so it's not like they got a bunch sitting and they're just serving it up. They cook the order, so I owe you, and you will see me there. We can have a conversation over crabs.
Conversation over crabs.
Maybe we should do a podcast while we popping crab legs.
Hey, that might have to be a new sponsor. So Crystal Rivers, if you watching this, we looking for a sponsor for the radio station and for the DJ Miles Show. But man, I got a 305 legend. He got a story that's really, really impactful, a real good testimony, and I'll just let you kick it off, and I'll let you pretty much tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I did grow up in the 305, but it wasn't always great. I was supposed to be the next great football star, like can't miss this boy. He going straight to the NFL. And then what happened was I wasn't spiritually grounded back then. So I hung around a lot of the wrong people, made a lot of bad mistakes, and I was injured a lot. I moved around to different high schools because of behavior, other things, you know, I couldn't control. And then my senior year, I got hurt and wasn't able to play. So I'm thinking, I'm going to walk on to FSU because I'm just that good. In my mind, I'm just that good. And I walked on to FSU doing the walk-on tryouts, got hurt again, and I just lost it. Like, because in my mind, the only thing I could do was play football. Mm-hmm. I could play football and fight. I mean, that's just how I felt growing up. That's why it's important, you know, parents to pour into your kids and let them know that there's other options out there, because, you know, if I couldn't play football, I knew I could fight. So, you know, when they told me to leave FSU, I kind of went back into the streets, you know, fell in with the wrong crowds, and, you know, just started doing this stupid stuff, stuff that almost got me killed on a couple occasions. I've done things that got me arrested, and, you know, I could tell that God was looking out for me when I wasn't looking out for myself, because the times I got arrested, like, the charges was always dropped, and it didn't have to be that way. But I struggled. Like, I've overcome alcoholism. I've overcome the thug life. I overcame all of that, you know, to become a teacher. You know, it's funny, I was telling you earlier, when I was a child, people used to prophesy to me, "You're going to be a preacher one day." This man, nowhere in the world I'm going to be a preacher. Nowhere in the world. So when I came a teacher, I was like, well, see, y'all just mispronounced preacher and it was teacher. Because I've been teaching for like 21 years. But during the time I've been teaching, I can even see God's hand in that, because I always get the kids who people say they bad, they're not capable of learning, they this and they that, and they always do well. Like always. Like I can't think of a kid I've had that came from a tough situation to where they didn't make it academically. And over the last few years, I've realized that, God, I've been doing your work the whole time. So this year, I just made the decision that I'm just going to let God use me 100% completely. And so now I'm transitioning into the ministry to where I'll be doing the trial sermon soon. I've been invited to speak at, several churches in Gaston County. And it's just amazing to me to look at the reputation I had in the 305 versus, now.
Right.
There are some people in my neighborhood, they can't believe I ever became a teacher.
Yeah.
And there's people I've met outside of Miami, I can't believe you ever did, A, B, and C.
Right. Right. Because I remember the first time I called you, because I'm not from Tallahassee, you know that. I'm from Duval County. So I remember the first time I called you, I didn't know anything about you. I just know when you answer the phone, you talk normal. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear any 305, I didn't hear anything like dialect. I just heard normal. I was Mr. Pendleton. They said, call Mr. Pendleton, do a podcast with him. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm calling you. I'm talking all like, I code switch real quick. So I code switch. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me get to the point. Let them know hey, this is an unconventional, podcast to make it interesting. He's like, oh, I got unconventional ways. But then when I got around,
yeah,
and when Rare Vegas seen this, gonna be laughing so hard. Well, you ain't got Pendleton on the because he was the last episode. I don't know if you saw it, but he was the last episode. And it's just funny because I got around you at the camp and at the planning, and I'm like, man, I gotta get him on the pod for real, because I'm over here thinking, let me be on my best behavior, talk profit, all this. And I'm like, nah, man, it's gonna be one of the best episodes. Yeah, my guy, Mr. P, Mr. 305. I can't even share with y'all some of the jokes this man be saying. We just got back from New York, and he said something that really took me out the day before. But I'm saying all this to transition into our next field trip that we have for the boys. We just went to New York and did the Wall Street March. You want to touch bases on that and kind of letting them know where we're taking the boys next week?
Yeah, man, it was amazing to take these boys to New York to participate on the march on Wall Street. Once again, talking about the financial inequalities that's being put forth by this current administration. And to see our boys chanting, marching, and not only that, understanding why we was there. Like for them, it wasn't just a trip to New York. Like they really felt the sense of, this is not right. We got to do something about this. And that's one of the things I like that we do at the school is we talk about these things. Yeah. But we talk about it not from a perspective of hate, but from a perspective of, this is not approved in God's eyes.
Facts.
So the fact that these boys taking these lessons and are able to apply it to real life, and they chanting no justice, no peace, and then they started doing the affirmations too. Yeah. And we was marching. We did about a mile.
Yeah, y'all did a good little mile.
Yeah. Off and on, the boys would do their chants. I am somebody. Yeah. And every time they did it, people was stopping, people was looking, people was cheering, taking pictures. So that made them feel proud. And I know this is something that they're not gonna never forget. Yeah. And then, we having the Unity Classic in Jacksonville where Edward Waters is going to play Virginia Union in the game. But the thing about it is, the football is not the crown piece of that classic. The football is kind of like a dessert. The crown piece is the unity, bringing all people together to let them know that despite what this current administration says, we are together. Yeah. There is nothing wrong with DEI. Jesus believed in DEI. If you look at his disciples, all of them wasn't exactly the same. So, it's going to be tailgating. They're going to have luncheons. They're going to honor ministers who've been serving the Jacksonville area for decades. And with our boys, what's going to be cool, they're going to get to go on the field before the game and do their affirmations and say the Pledge of Allegiance on a game that's broadcast on ESPN.
On ESPN.
Can you imagine what that's going to do for their self-esteem?
Can you imagine going to school and that being a field trip?
Right.
Like, did you ever go on a field trip like that?
Not like that.
Not like that. Nah, I didn't either. And, if you think about it, the budgets that they have for, public school, you went to public school, right? Yeah. The budgets they have for public schools is technically more.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
It's a lot more. So, I have to give a big shout-out to Reverend R.B. Holmes for just, you and Reverend R.B. Holmes, for sure, and everybody on the BCBA team, for putting together stuff like that, because though we may not have over 100 students at our school, they're getting an experience that schools that have 5,000 students will never get.
Right.
They're watching from social media, they're watching from the internet, they're watching from ESPN, the boys, and they're going to go into every job interview, every place that they go, every avenue with confidence, because you just sat and said affirmations in front of a bunch of people in New York that if you could do that, then you can go to any avenue.
Yeah.
And I tell them, like, wherever you go, and I say this for everybody watching this, wherever you go, step with confidence. Mm-hmm. You know, step with real confidence. So what's the main thing you're looking forward to? You're going to my alma mater's game. What's the main thing outside of the boys talking at before the game? What's the main thing you look forward to in Jacksonville?
I think for me, the Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, they also organize like a family conference.
Yeah.
They have one for single people, widows, widowers, and married couples. And that's actually, as much as I love football, but I'm actually looking forward to that family conference. You know, I'm going to take my wife. We're going to go. We got us a nice, room overlooking the water. She likes looking at water. She won't get in it, but she likes looking at it.
Yeah.
So, a nice room overlooking the water. And I think that's like the perfect weekend to me. You get sports, you get family time, and it's all clean fun. It's nothing you have to worry about people doing a bunch of drinking and all of that. Yeah, shooting, all that crazy. It's like good, clean fun. And surprisingly, and I'm telling the truth, you can have a lot of joy having clean fun.
Man, what?
You can have a lot of joy, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Laughing till you got tears in your eyes.
Oh my God. I thank God for y'all at the school, because like when you were saying you was jumping for joy the other day, in the group chat. Hey.
I even got this thing I do to where I introduce the teachers during devotion, but I do it WWE style.
With theme music.
Yeah, with theme music.
With theme music. And we had the planning, when we had our week for planning, when we introduced ourselves, I think for Reverend Fagan, shout out to him. He ended up playing like a theme song for him. Yeah. This man's the ultimate troll, but it is so important for your work environment to be fun like that, because you're with these people more than you're with your loved ones. Mm-hmm. And I've worked at places where it was predominantly, white, black. I worked at places that's been predominantly black. And I'll say that the experience that I've had between the radio station and the Boys Academy has been so genuine because of people like Mr. Pendleton, Mr. Simmons, Rev Fagans. I know I'm leaving out a couple names, but it's just because I can't think of them right now. But what's your favorite thing about working at the Boys Academy, and what's something that you want to add to the school?
For me, it's just knowing what we're doing for these boys. Like, people say, you crazy, why you doing this? But then you see the boys coming in, and they coming in with joy. So it's the expectation of, things been going wrong, but, I'm going to have joy when I get to school, and they look forward to that. Yeah. And the funny part is, when I first started doing it, I remember a teacher saying, it don't take all that. That's not how we usually do it. But then a few weeks into it, you got the teachers doing joy. Like, Ms. Murphy got up one time, did a little praise dance when I heard her song. And, Reverend Tolliver, when I hear this Common Man theme, because he's a Dusty Rhodes fan.
Yeah.
So, man, the kids get to see the teachers being genuine, and the teachers laughing and, throwing their hair back a little bit. And I think it increases the relationship and the bond between the teachers and the students. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. They know how to have a good time, too.
Right.
So one of the things I look forward to bringing the students is, of course, bringing them closer to God, but letting them know why it's important to be closer to God, and letting them know that don't think about what the world tells you. Yeah. Being closer to God is what you want to do, not this other stuff that's been given to them by social media, because we battle against social media. Oh my God, we battle against social media and the things they see on social media. So they're showing them that. And we got this running joke that I'm a Dade County Christian. That's our running joke in my class. Like, I'm a Christian, but I flip tables. like Jesus.
Like Jesus, Dade County Christian.
But once again, it's all in fun, because everything we do is centered around Christ. Even the curriculum I'm using this year, I talked with Reverend Holmes last year about an idea I had to do an ELA curriculum that's based around all the Florida standards, but instead of using trade books, we use the Bible as our textbook. So this entire year, we're going to learn all the Florida standards, but our textbook is going to be the Bible. And so far, the first 4 weeks of school, the kids, I mean, they absolutely love it. We started off in the book of Luke. So they're doing things like they're learning what set the stage for Jesus' ministry, which is stuff that even grown-ups probably never had the experience to think of.
Yeah. But
then they're looking at Old Testament prophecy and how it came true in the New Testament prophecy and making those connections. And it's encouraging to me because these kids, they want to learn. Like, they want to keep reading the Bible. They're taking the Bibles home with them, which is, I mean, how many, black boys, thinking about what we talk about on social media, they want to take a Bible home with them to read. Or you tell them, you need to read a book. Well, can I read the Bible instead? Yes.
That's completely fine with me.
Right.
That's the best. People talk about G code. That's the real G code.
Yeah, that's the G. Oh, you just gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea.
Yeah, G code. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Nah, I got you. Like, I brought you on the pod for a good reason. Like, one of your kids, I'm not gonna say his name, but he really, he inspired me on my show last week. And I'll tell you after we get off. But he did your exit ticket that you have for them. When he wrote it down and he just broke down what Jesus went through, he was like, people didn't believe Jesus when he said he was Jesus. And I'm like, yo, I just learned from a kid. I knew this, but I just learned from a kid.
Right.
That, like, if Jesus was doubted and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, what makes you think that people going to believe you?
Yeah.
You got to show them. And even when you show them, sometimes they still act a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and still not believe. And I'm like, man, I just learned from one of your students. Like, I really salute you for doing that. You know what I'm saying? You giving me a model. Like, if I had my kids, I'm a kindergarten teacher. If I have my kids from kindergarten to where they are now, they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
If I just go up with my kids every year, like, y'all really set that foundation. So let's talk Miami. What's your favorite spot in Miami for somebody that's visiting?
Man.
Favorite don't have to duck, don't have to get on the ground spot.
Wait a minute, I have to rethink now. Oh man. Boy, you take me back to the pre-save days.
He's like, do I gotta look over my shoulder?
Yeah.
Nah, you got a beautiful city behind you right now.
Yeah. I will say that, since I've been saved, changed my life around, I don't go to the places I used to go. Like, I don't do all the clubs and things. But, I will go, like, to the Wynwood district, which is like an art district, like spoken word poetry. Like, I do spoken word poetry. So I like, doing things like that. But for me, the best part about Miami now is the sports scene.
Okay.
That's for me. Like, I used to go to all the Marlins games, the Panthers games, the Dolphins. Like, they have Major League Soccer. And then because they're in Miami, they host a lot of international sports.
Yeah.
So for me, once I got saved and made that transition of, okay, I'm not an Oakhead no more.
Right.
It was getting all into the sports scenes. And you can have such a great time just in the sports scenes or doing these things with the arts. And they got restaurants galore, which I blame Miami for my current frame, but
you're so crazy.
Like, you cannot go anywhere in Miami without finding the good restaurants. Now, I will tell you, the best restaurants are in some of the neighborhoods you may be scared to go into.
Okay, that's fair. That's like New Orleans.
Yes.
Like the hole-in-the-wall spots, yeah.
Like, I'm going to mention one. In Paran, Florida, is a barbecue place called the Mustard Seed.
The Mustard Seed.
Boy, when I tell you them ribs fall off the bones, like every time you bite into the bone, you feel like you're in heaven. I might be speaking like a fat person, but you sink your teeth into them bones and you feel like in heaven. And the thing I like about them, it's like it's a Christian family that runs it.
Oh, black home.
They in a, not a great neighborhood, but they have so much respect. Nobody never gives them any problems. Yeah. Like, you could tell the Lord is blessing them and shielding them because in a neighborhood that's plagued by violence, nobody never messes with them. They've never had problems being robbed or anything. People will look out for them if they see trouble coming their way. So, to me, they're a good example of, when the enemy come at all sides, like they say in the Bible, the God will be your protector. Right. So every time I go to Miami, I check them out. I try to go catch some games, Miami Heat games. I love their new stadium. It make me wish I was rich so I can pull my yacht up into the game. But I'm about to ask Reverend Holmes, can I get a raise so I can buy a yacht? But
don't worry, I I got you back on
Yeah,
that.
okay, you got me back on that one.
Back on that one for sure.
But you know, Miami gets a bad rap, and I mean, it does have problems with violence and things, but there's a lot of great things you can do in Miami that doesn't require violence and things and that. And you know, one of the things I always tell my students is, if you've done bad in your life, of course you can repent, but that doesn't mean you escape the consequences.
Facts.
So for me, when I go home to visit, I always have to be mindful of the fact that I did used to live a different lifestyle.
For sure.
So I do have to look over my back, not for me, but for my family. I'm married now, so, you know, just watching out for them. And that's something I wouldn't have had to do if I had lived a Christ-like life from birth. So, you know, then that's what I tell the kids. The things you do now, it's going to affect you when you get older, whether it's good or bad. So why not just start off doing good and let those blessings overflow in your family instead of, you know, you looking over your back and you wondering if this going to happen, and every time you hear a gunshot, you ducking and things
PTSD,
like that. Yeah.
Crazy PTSD, and you don't even have to have it.
Yeah, but I love my city, though. That's one thing where everybody, you come to that school, everybody tell you, where Mr. Pendleton from? 305?
305. 305. You know how loud I be screaming. Oh, yeah. It's funny, though, because growing up, like, around the time I was 18, I overheard some guys saying, hey, you know, 305 don't really like 904, and I'm like, I got a lot of friends from 305, especially like the little Haiti area.
Right.
And when I tell you, I can say it. When I tell you these are some of the most solidest stand-up guys I've ever met in my life, yeah, they have their ways. You know, we all have our ways. Even Christian folk have their ways.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna sit here and sugarcoat. But y'all some of the most genuine. South Florida people are really, really, y'all, it's some soul to y'all that I really do appreciate. So I want to also kind of kill that narrative of 305 versus 904 because I think it's really a misunderstanding.
It is.
I think Florida is just a beautiful place, but we be so in competition like, nah, 904 hit. And it's like, no, that's stupid. Like, at the end of the day, you a genuine dude, I'm a genuine dude. We can come together and talk about something positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I could tell you how that originated.
Okay.
It ain't had nothing to do with the actual cities themselves. It had more to do with kind of the drug trade. That's where all of that started at. Like, I've never had a problem, you know, because I told you I lived in Duval. I've taught in Duval. I never had a problem. I've had to step to people, I mean, I was at West Jacksonville Elementary. I remember stepping to this individual, like they was selling drugs in proximity to the school, and I was able to go and talk to him. And the fact that I was from the 305, it gave me a little credibility, and they agreed to stop.
For real?
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Yeah. It's like the parents would drop their kids off, and then you could see them driving. They go pick up drugs and stuff.
In elementary school.
So
you understand where I'm from for real.
Yeah.
Because people, it's not even just hood kids.
Right.
It's kids that have their parents in their life that's doing this. And you lived in Duval, you lived in Tallahassee, you lived in Miami, you lived in Alabama, a couple other places from what you told me. And it's like, if you had the opportunity to be a college professor, like say like some years down the line, not like right now, would you take that opportunity to be a college professor?
I don't know. It just depends on what God has for me.
Okay.
If I was to be a college professor, it would have to be probably at the HBCU. Okay. Where you be allowed to teach the unfiltered truth about, you know, our people and the things that we can accomplish. Because right now, I feel like the university system, they teach kids in a way that you have to act a certain way in order to advance.
That's true.
And I think it's taking the creativity away from us because we're very innovative people. Yeah. If you look at a lot of the trends, music, and everything that's popular and non-black culture, it started with us. Yeah. Rock and roll music, like a lot of people be surprised here, rock and roll music started with us.
With black people.
Elvis Presley stole his style from a lot of, you know, black artists, you know, back in the day. Yeah. I mean, the blues, country music.
All of those, I can't remember the names off the top, but yeah, we started every single genre.
Yeah, even a lot of the fashion trend. I don't know what's wrong with some of these fashion trends now.
Oh, I ain't wearing no dress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no dress.
We kind of went in reverse on that one. But I'm saying I want to teach the kids that you can be yourself. You don't have to fit into anyone else's model.
Yeah. Definitely.
And you can change the world. And you don't always have to change the world through sports.
Right.
You could change the world with your brain. You could change the world through medicine, through research, through being an entrepreneur. Like, I think if we help kids go more towards entrepreneurship and STEM activities just as much as we push sports,
right,
well, we'll see a great increase in generational wealth in the black community.
Right.
So if I was a college professor, I want to teach under those conditions to where I'm allowed to teach the truth and not teach that you have to fit into a subgroup in order to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, because that form of teaching exactly by the book, and I come from drug treatment, so you can't do anything fully by the book,
right,
in treatment. And I learned that education, I was taught by the book until I went to Edward Waters University. And I'm telling you this for a reason. We had events called Stay Woke, and some people they've saw my interview with David Banner. He came for Stay Woke and he was willing to do an interview after. So they tell you the actual truth, what's going on. They back it up. He came in our chapel and told us the truth.
Right.
At an AME church. Because Edward Waters. So there are HBCUs where you can do that, but it would be more private because it's their funding. And I would be the same way. Like, if I can't tell you the God honest truth and be real with you, eventually you're going to be like, well, why did you lie to me?
Yeah.
So I would rather be the one to give you the truth, whether it's in the classroom, outside the classroom. But what I like about our school, we're able to really be like big bros and father figures and like uncle. Like the kids refer to us as like uncle, like big bro, like a father figure. I literally had a kid ask me, he was like, "Can you be my dad?"
Yeah. Well, I told you I had one time. I asked my mom if you can adopt me.
Yeah. That's like one of the best feelings in the world though, because I know my coaches saved me. My baseball coaches saved me. My dad coached me, but I had a couple coaches outside of my dad that coached me. Because my dad used to travel a lot building drug court programs around the nation. And I remember my coach told me, he said, yeah, like, I didn't look at y'all as, like, kids that just played a sport. I looked at all of y'all as my sons.
Right.
So I hit some of my coaches on Facebook to this day and, like, check in with them. And I know they want me to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know you probably thought about getting into coaching football as well, right?
I actually used to coach football.
Yeah.
And actually stopped once I got more serious into teaching. But I think I'm going to do it again. Because then when I was teaching, it was all about winning. We got to win.
I got you.
And we won a lot too.
Right.
But now, if I do it now, it's going to be, you need to learn how to lose just as much as you need to learn how to win.
Because that normally is going to be what's going to trigger the devil, that devil on your shoulder to get you to make that decision that you really don't want to make. But now your pride and your ego is making you feel like you have to make that decision.
Right. And the Bible teaches us the prideful is going to fall. And we have a lot of brothers who, they may be good. I use myself as an example. I was good, but that pride led to my downfall.
Yeah. That's spot on. I know something about you that I didn't know about you. So you still, So you did music, or you still, to a certain extent, you still do music.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
This podcast is really tailored. Nah, I got you. This podcast is really tailored to music. It's like a spinoff from our radio show. We play like the hottest gospel rap to let people know we got some artists that hit harder than the young boys. Right. So I want to add, because you mentioned it when we did two lies and one truth. You mentioned that you was about to get a deal at some point, a record deal. So you want to touch bases on that a little bit?
When I was young, I had plenty of opportunities to do music, but the year before I started teaching, I had an opportunity to sign with Chopper City Records. At the time, it was headed by BG. Yeah. And something in my spirit, I wasn't even saved then, but something in my spirit was like, don't do it, because how you going to be a teacher, but then be a gangster rapper too?
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be kind of hypocritical.
That would be hilarious.
And I actually turned it down. I've had a chance to, sign with, and it's funny, every time I have a chance to sign, something happens. Yeah. I had a chance to sign with Loot Records back in the early 90s, and then one of my members ended up getting killed. And then I didn't want to do it after that.
I got you.
So, and I know that that's something I don't think God wanted me to do. Yeah. And the way I got into writing, when I was younger, I used to have a problem with anger. Okay. I could not control my anger for anything.
I got you.
And I talked with a therapist one time, and he told me the next time you get angry, instead of taking it out on somebody, write about
And you wrote a song.
Even if you're writing about what you're going to do to them, just write it. Just release it on paper. And I've been doing that ever since. So a lot of my early poetry, which turned into songs, was like very dark, very violent, and things like that. But now when I write, it's more of how good God is. Mm-hmm. I write from the civil rights perspective. Like, I did a lesson with the boys the other day, and it's called "The Joy Is My Weapon." So I read a poem to the boys first, and where I said, like, my joy is my weapon, and my faith is my gun. And he was talking about, figuratively using the weapons God gives you to defeat Satan. And then how those boys turn around and they wrote some impressive, I shared one with y'all.
Yeah.
Some impressive pieces to where they actually get it.
Yeah.
And then they was also throwing in how Jesus was able to defeat Satan with scripture, and that was his weapon. And, in some of the school districts I've taught in, you just don't hear young black males talking like this.
Not at all. They'll be very, like, and I'm talking to straight A students. Like,
yeah.
Like, they're going somewhere in life, but they don't have that it factor. Right there,
So I probably could have made a lot of money being a rapper, but it's not what God wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is when I follow God, it's not necessarily glamorous, but it's joyful.
Joyful.
The times that I had the most glamour is been the most painful.
Because happy is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be happy for the first 4 hours of the day, but then you're traumatized for the other 8 hours. You know what I mean?
So I explained to the boys, it's the difference between happiness and joy.
See, I was just about to ask you that, and you answered it. You answered it for me.
Happiness comes and goes, but that's one thing God gives you the devil can't touch is your joy.
And intangible.
Yes.
Intangible.
He cannot touch your joy. He can't take your joy away. He'll try. He'll throw every calamity in front of you, but he can't take your joy.
You can't take joy. You can control happiness, but you can't take joy because joy comes from within.
Yes.
And the only way that you can go within is through God.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we're getting towards the end of the podcast. I appreciate you. I'm not trying to hold you too long. What advice would you give to yourself knowing what you know now back when you were 18?
If I can go back and talk to myself, the number one thing I'm going to say is get grounded with Christ.
Okay.
That's it. Like, if I would have done that, my life would have been different. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been in the place I am right now to help the people I'm helping now. And it just goes to show you that God never gives up on you. I don't care if you was the most despicable, drug dealing, violent person there is. It's always a time to change. And I look at the things I used to do, and I used to think, well, I wasn't worthy. Why would I be a preacher? Why would I step in the pulpit with the things I've done? And in a way, that's kind of prideful, saying, man, I was such a great criminal that God can't use me.
Yeah.
So if I can go back in time, just sit down, be humble, and listen to what God tells you.
Right. Man, I like that. That's probably the perfect way to close it out. I definitely got to have you come back on here. The goal is probably to have some of the staff do an episode, and then try to get Rev to come on here. So I'm going to close it out. What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Miles, and then close it off with some words of encouragement. Like Mr. Pendleton just said, listen to what God is telling you to do.
Yes.
But don't just listen to it, act on it. And whatever you went through, wherever you grew up, whether you had both your parents in your life, whether you came from a broken home, whether you came from the trenches, whether you grew up with money or somewhere in the middle, you are valuable. And because God loves you, I love you, Mr. Pendleton loves you.
Amen.
We love you. And I will catch you next episode. And we're going to beat Alabama today.
Yes.
That's 1K, 1,000.
Oh, yeah, you ready?
Oh man, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get to it.